Welcome to Mustangs Makes Math Easy, where we show you how to use algebra to help solve common problems. Have you ever been in charge of a big event and needed to know how many people could fit into a particular arrangement of tables? This is a very commonly needed skill, and some people waste countless minutes counting up all of the individual chairs. I will now show you how to use a simple algebraic equation to make this kind of calculation easy. The only two things that you need to know are how many tables you have in the room and how many people you can fit at each table. For example, I have 4 tables in my classroom and each table can fit 5 students each. So I set up the equation with an s in the numerator to represent the number of students my room can hold. Then I divide the number of students by the number of students I can fit at each table, which is 5, and I set that equal to the number of tables, which is 4. In other words, the number of total students divided by the number of students at each table will give me the number of tables in the room. Now that I have set up the equation, what do I need to do? I have to solve the equation for s. When you solve an equation for a variable, at the end you will have the variable on one side of the equation by itself and a number on the other side. So our goal is to get that variable by itself. So I ask myself, how is that variable not by itself? Well, it's being divided by 5. So how do I get rid of it? I do just the opposite. I multiply by 5, so those 5's will cancel out since 5 is being divided by 5 is 1. But I need to multiply both sides of the equation by 5 so as to keep the equation equal. If I were only to do that to one side, the equation would change its value and no longer be equal on both sides. So when I multiply the left side of the equation by 5, the 5's cancel each other out since 5 divided by 5 is 1. And on the right side, 4 times the 5 gives me 20. Now I have s equals to 20. I know I am done because s is now by itself on one side of the equation and there is a simple number on the other side. What this tells me is that the number of students I could fit into the room is 20 students. To check to see if this is true, I plug the 20 back into the original equation and I get 20 divided by 5 equals to 4. That's true, so my work is correct. I can fit 20 students into my room. Aren't you glad that you learned a simple way to use algebra to solve such a common real-life problem? Please join us on Mustangs Make Math Easy to watch some other ways we use algebra to make your life easier.